Hey Susan, how you doing? And welcome back to my channel. So today the video is about our past lives, but the benefit of exploring them and how they can help you really understand what's going on for you right now in your life. I'm not here to convince you that past lives exist. That's something that you either believe or you don't believe. And when you start actively working with your own past lives, you'll find that you understand exactly why people are showing up in your life at this point in time. But by working through them, it actually catapults you forward. And there's a reason for that. So anything that you have not resolved in a past life will be affecting you in this life. Now, it may not affect you every day of the week. It might be something that is kind of like in the background there. And what your soul does, it says, okay, in that past life, there were things that you either didn't achieve, things that hurt you, things that you didn't let go of, things that you didn't explore fully around who you are, opportunities that you had that you didn't step into. And so all of that is like a ball of wool and it's in your energy field. And when you come into this life, there is a potential for you to unravel some of the knots that are holding you back. So anything that you've brought through from a past life that is unresolved, so any unresolved trauma, anger, disappointment, hurt, if you don't resolve it, then you keep it. And that's why it's so important in this life, for those of you that are spiritually awake and aware, to recognize that the work of the medium, the psychics, the intuitives, the healers, it's not about, it's not about finding out what your fortune is. It's about finding out who you are and being able to solve your puzzle. Because we're all a puzzle. We've all got things that stop us from stepping into our light, from stepping into the amazingness of the spiritual essence of who we are. So anything that's unresolved, it will stay there in the background, and there'll come a time when your soul says, aha, they're ready. You're ready. You're ready now to look at this. You're ready to understand it. You're ready to deal with it. And so things will happen in your life that may seem unfair, or they may seem out of character. And, I often hear people say to me, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep going through this? It's not fair. This doesn't seem right. So when those kind of things come up, if that's what's happening to you or someone that you love and you care about, it's important sometimes just to step back, kind of do a little head wobble and ask yourself, is this past life that needs to be resolved? And if you can develop a really strong yes and no within yourself, and you can use a pendulum to do that, or you can just get that knowing in your own body, or in your psychic senses, so with a visual yes or no, a feeling yes or no. And when you've developed that within yourself, and you can ask, is this a past life issue that I need to tackle? Now, times like full moons, for example, where energies are high, that's a time when the moon shines its light into the darkness. So it's almost like whatever is hidden comes into the light. And because of the nature of our bodies being, I don't know what the percentage is, but say 90% water, the emotional energy in us will be very high at times of full moons. So where things are not resolved, hidden emotion, past emotion will actually come up within us. And doing some work around your past lives, it can be really, really enlightening for you. But also I would encourage you to not get too caught up in it as well, because we're here to live this life. And I know some people, kind of want to know every life that they've had what can you tell me about my past lives, and who was I, and all that kind of thing. It's kind of not really relevant in a lot of cases as to who you were. What's relevant is what is unresolved, because we're kind of this continuum of energy, and our soul is always looking for ways to be more, or to express itself more. So the job of the soul on the planet is to experience life, is to expand consciousness of other people and ourselves, but it's also to experience the capacity that we have to, I guess, be more like the creator. So many of you that are creatives will understand that at one point you didn't know that you were, or maybe you didn't believe that you were, and maybe still you're watching this and you say, I'm not a creator, I can't create anything. But your mind, your energy, your thoughts are magnetic, and you're always creating. So unresolved issues are the major, let's say, focus for past life work. Also, it's about you knowing yourself at a deeper level. So if, for example, you have got something going on at the moment, repeated pattern, I would encourage you to look at what the pattern is. Is it that you isolate yourself? Is it that you maybe don't believe that you're worthy of something? It could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be success in any field. Whatever that energy is, or whatever that repeating pattern is that's in your life and that you wish to change, if you ask the question, is this past life, and you get yes, then you can start to go, okay, well, what do I need to know about that past life? So you can go into a meditation yourself. You can get therapists that would help you with it. And one of the things that I do when I'm working with people and a past life issue comes up is we always work through this yes-no process of, do we actually need to go into it? Because bear in mind, if there's been trauma from a past life, you don't necessarily want to go back there where, you were burned at the stake, or where you had your head cut off, or whatever it is. You don't necessarily want to go back to it, but you might need to just understand where the energy is trapped in your body, or what, how it's affecting you now. So with therapy, you can get help with past life issues, but on a personal level every day, you can go into a meditation and ask, what is it that I need to understand? What do I need to let go of? Is it in my personality that there's something that I need to change? So it could be that in a past life, your personality was so rigid that you didn't take advice, for example. I'm just throwing things out here. It could be that your personality was so afraid that you didn't take opportunities that were there for you. So, in meditation or through the dream state, you could ask, this past life issue that is, we know it's here, is there a personality thing that I need to change? And if so, show me what that is. So you can ask to see it, or to be shown. And sometimes that would be, if you ask to be shown that kind of thing, you might see an image in your mind of someone that that's got a particular personality trait, and that person's always angry, or that person always is very negative, or that person never completes something. So you'll see different things that way. Could also be that your perspective is out of whack. So you could say, show me from past life what it is that's stopping me. Is it my perspective on life? And how that plays out is, so say, for example, you've had lots of past lives where you've been perhaps very powerful or very successful, and then in this life you don't have that. It could be that your perspective in this life is different to what it needs to be. Same, on the reverse side, if you'd had a lot of powerlessness, poverty, all those sorts of things in past life, and your perspective in this life is skewed, then maybe it's your perspective that needs to change. Because perspective is the way you look at life, but it's the way you look at yourself and your ability to change your circumstances, or to not necessarily change yourself, but to step into all of who you are. So I think, there's this big conception that we need to change who we are, but we don't. We need to accept who we are so that the soul, that is yearning to express itself in every way, can step forward without shame or fear or worry that it's going to offend anybody or upset anybody else. So, you could also ask in that past life energy, is it my processes at the moment that are giving me, problems? Because if in a past life you were somebody that was very process driven and everything had to be done through the head, very analytically, you may have been an engineer in a past life, you might have been, had many lives that were very analytical building, and then in this life you've come in to be more of a creative. And so there's a part of you that is out of alignment or out of sync because the old energy, that thread that you brought through, is not yet released. So every time you go back to a past life, you have the opportunity to release more and to step more into this beauty of who you are. Past lives are so interesting. There's also that part of you that's had past this life. So if you look at your life, and I don't know how old you are, but if you went back through every decade of your life and you looked at what's happened in every decade and just observe how much you've changed, and whatever you're facing in your life at the moment that might be causing you concern or angst, you could say, well, what part of this life is playing out right now? And often what's playing out is the conditioning with what, how you were brought up, the way that your parents were or the way they weren't, the way you were taught at school, all those kind of things, because they impact the way you think and believe and the way you actually do what you do. There's one other thing that came through that I just wanted to talk about. And, past lives is something that is a huge, huge, huge topic. But I guess in this channel, I just wanted to open up some discussion and to start, for me, bringing some videos forward that are talking about the, more than just the weekly readings, talking about how we can understand ourselves as spiritual beings, the work of the light worker. And the light worker is here to become more light so that affects those people that you share your life with. So one of the other aspects of past lives is that potentially you may have not had any past lives on earth before, but we know that the soul is eternal and that there is no kind of, we've got this continuum of energy. So what if you've been up there in the energy of the God force, the universe, and you've been part of the spiritual energy that supports humanity, and you decided that you didn't want to sit on the sidelines anymore, especially at a time like now where we've got this real shift in humanity's consciousness and awareness. So what if you decided, well, I don't want to be just this ethereal part of existence. I want to come into human form. And I want to come into human form, but I'm going to choose an aspect or many aspects of the human condition. I'm going to choose those memories, the collective memories or the memories of other people. And I'm going to bring those forward so that I can embody it in this life and still work through it, because it's by working through our energy field that we actually change the energy of everybody else on the planet. So just to kind of go into that a little bit more, the word quantum entanglement's just come into my brain and I don't really understand it. But what I know is that whatever you change within you, you change within another. So if you have a family member that is going through something that is difficult, or if you have a friend that's going through something that's difficult, we tend to want to go in and tell them what to do. I'm a classic at that, by the way. But we tend to want to go in and fix it, because we don't like seeing our friends or family in pain. We want to help them. And we want them to have the knowledge that we've got. We want them to have the feelings that we've got, especially if we've worked our way through things. And so that's where I encourage you that if you've got family or friends going through things, is to, instead of trying to fix it, look at where that sits within you, or use your empathy to say, well, if that was me, how would I feel? And just to find that in your body and to release it from your body. Because everything that you do, every bit of healing you do on yourself will affect everybody that you're connected with. And it really is true. So if you have someone that's dealing with powerlessness, that's hard because within you, you may feel powerless to help them. And look, I have to say, mostly doing it the 3D way, you are powerless because you can't go in and live somebody's life for them. But if you then sat and said, okay, or you don't have to sit, by the way, but if you were just working with yourself and you said, okay, where is powerlessness in me? How can I feel it? But I feel it in me and I'm ready to release it. I release that belief in powerlessness. And, you might feel it in your brain. You might feel it in your physical body. But even by saying the words out loud, I'm ready to release any feelings of powerlessness within me. And I ask that that be transmuted into love and into light. By doing that, you are clearing yourself. And in doing that, there's more light, there's more space. It helps the other person because there is an entanglement of your DNA, your energy, your frequency with theirs. And it's a little bit like, just trying to think of an example of how to explain it. If you want to push against something, then the more you push against it, the more pressure there is. It's a bit like a tug of war. So say there's a tug of war and two people are pulling on the rope. If one person lets the rope go, there's no pressure there. And the rope, suddenly there's no tension on it. So sometimes we're in a tug of war with people that we care about. We're in a tug of war with ourselves. And what we've got to do is let go. Let go of the rope. Let go of the connection. Let go of the tension. And the tension is physical in your body. It's in your mind. It's in your body. So awareness is everything. This is kind of food for thought. I know, that it's not just about past life healing. It's about present life healing. But when a past life raises its head, and it may raise its head in the sense of you might be experiencing something and you just can't get to the bottom of it, then ask yourself, is this a past life issue? And I can guarantee you, if you get a yes to that, then the issue has to be a big one. Because generally speaking, the things we bring forward from past life, they're key reasons why we're here. They're the reasons why partly why we've come. Because we want to be able to free ourselves from the things that were unresolved before. Having a blank now because there was something else I was going to say about that. It's gone. So it'll have to come up in another video, which I'm sure will be, a follow-on to this. Because as I said, there's so much that you can explore around this side of things. I think it's about not getting too caught up in was I this character and really going nitty-gritty into it, but just using that knowledge to understand more about who you are. Now, here's another little thing I want to share with you as well that I kind of sometimes use with people when I'm doing healing sessions, is when you go into your meditation, every so often, why don't you ask, because everything's about intention, right? Why don't you ask to bring the best of you from every lifetime that you've lived, to bring you the wisdom, the knowledge, the joy, the wonder from every lifetime that you've had, to embody that within you. Because honestly, when you start doing this sort of thing, you realize how easily you can bring all of your gifts forward. And the same thing, you can ask in meditation or just in a quiet time to release anything that is stopping you from any past life. So you don't always have to know what it is, but if you consciously work with your energy on a very regular basis, then you will find that you become lighter, you become happier, you become more open in your heart. So for example, you might find that you're someone that holds a lot of jealousy, or holds a lot of worry about the world, or holds, I don't know, they're the two things that came to my mind anyway. So that if that's something about you and you don't like those traits, because really they're not traits we want to have, then you can just ask in your meditation, ask in your sleep, all of those energies from past lives, please release them from my body. Please release them from my memory. Release them from my mind. Release them from my heart, so that you kind of start actively working your light, because that's the power that you have. That's it, I think. I'm being told, boom, 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 that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you for the weekly readings every week, and I kind of feel there'll be more videos on these kind of things. So if there's any topics you'd like me to cover, then yeah, just pop it in the chat. And again, thanks for subscribing, thanks for sharing, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye for now.